it set up here. I think we're all set. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, we're doing a rule book. It's right over there. Okay. Yeah, Salerno 43 today, solo. Starting up the campaign. And like with the past stream, sorry, moving chords and stuff. If there's feedback, should be done soon. Yeah, like in the past, we're going to be doing the setup and everything. Although the great thing about Salerno 43, you'll see, is that setup is a piece of cake. Yeah, we're doing the whole campaign. And we should finish this before we take it off the table. And sorry, my wife's doing something upstairs. I think she's emptying a vacuum. All right, sweet. So yeah, 1 second. Sorry, just sending a message real quick. Okay, yeah, Salerno 43 full campaign. If you have not played Salerno 43, it's part of the 19XX series, the Zachman series. It's a series. It's not really a series, but it is a series, if that makes sense. So we are good to go. Everything looks centered enough. I can move that up there so we can see the title at least. Yeah. All right, sweet. So let's start setting up. It's very beginner friendly, very relatively quick playing compared to some of the other stuff in this series. It's all right here. And basically, the Germans are going to try to hold out as long as possible. And we have the Commonwealth forces, and I think it's 5th Army and 8th Army is what it is. But yeah, Commonwealth is going to basically come in off of Uncle and Sugar and Roger. And one of these beaches closed down. Can't remember which, but we'll figure out. And then U.S. forces are going to come in on red and blue, and these red circles are the victory X's for the Allied forces. So let's get going on setup. So basically what's going to happen is all these forces are going to land. So we have 46th Division landing on Uncle, and they will land with beachheads for everything except Sugar. Okay, so Sugar effectively shuts down after this initial landing. And as reinforcements come on for the Allied forces, they will, each beachhead and each port they capture has a certain amount of transportation limit. I don't remember what the technical term is, but basically only a certain amount of troops can come in on each beachhead. Or for example, if we take Salerno, then 3 LPs, I think is what they are, can land there. Let's just see what they're officially called so I know. But that will matter after turn 1. Turn 1 is very limited. All right, so just for flavor purposes, we have 46th Division landing here, and 56th there, 56th there. And then it's like on Red Beach, 36th, and on Blue Beach, also 36th. Okay. So just one division there for the Allies. Okay, we'll put some 10th Corps follow-up waves. These will land as reinforcements in turn 2. And then 6th Corps follow-up. also land in turn 2. U.S. air support. U.S. naval support. So if you caught the last episode of the podcast, I mentioned to Rich that this is the closest to Normandy 44, but there are significant differences. Air and artillery are quite a bit different. I don't know. There's just troop quality isn't well. You have the red boxes, but these black circles are stacking limits. I don't think that was the case in Normandy. All right, let's set the Germans up. 2202. They're up here somewhere. Yeah, right there. 2909. One of the reasons why I am still doing setup is 2905, excuse me. That one's 2905, 2909. As you can see how fast this scenario sets up, which is pretty nice. Who won the Cold War gone hot? Technically the Allies. Or the NATO forces did. Not technically, when I called the game. They just got in a position they weren't going to release. I mean, I guess I could have kept rolling for a failure, but barring that, the Warsaw Pact was not going to win. 3014. There was no need to release any chems or nukes for NATO. And I think I just had the one NATO collapse with the island. Okay. Some artillery support units going in at 3213. We have some variable strength units. They're kind of interesting. They can be, they can't attack, but they can disrupt things, especially if, we'll take the mindset of the Allies here, of course, but if you don't clear them out, they still disrupt supply lines, at least the ones that can move. But we don't actually know how good they are until they go into combat. And so they can go into combat and die right away, or they can be like, I think up to 3 strength, if I remember right. 2418. All right. We have some trucks that the Germans can use. Yeah, here you go. So here's the 12 LPs for naval transfer to turn, and then each port or beachhead has its own limit of those LPs that they can use. So this starts there. This goes on the weather track. Okay. These units will come in 1S. No, 1 Southern. So I have some Jaeger here, and they're going to probably come in on this road. And then this will go up there. Okay, that's set up. That's all it is. The great thing about, and you can kind of see them off on the side here, is one thing that I wish a lot of games did more often is have these setup cards. You just get everything out, you get it organized, and as you need them. So you don't have to use those because everything's got where it goes on the counter for the most part. Like everything that starts up has its hex number, but these setup cards not only act as like a checklist, but also just keeps everything organized and you're ready to roll. Let's see. The weather, I don't remember what weather starts on. We'll check that. VP. So also kind of cool is this has victory checks or check marks that the allied player has to hit. Different from, but similar to U.S. Civil War. They can't fall behind. So we're going to skip the weather phase for the first turn, and the first turn is the special landing phase. So this is a little bit different than what's in Normandy 44, but you'll get the idea pretty quickly here as soon as I get to the rules. Okay. Need our player aids. And we've got the invasion CRT. So they're just going to make a die roll 1 through 6, and there's special for each beach here. The only ones that can do like a follow-up attack after the landing is these commandos to try to take Salerno, which would be awesome if we could do that. But we're going to start at the Rangers here. Darby's Rangers. A 2 is advanced 2. And might as well. So that'll become controlled. It's kind of it's the last person to go in there. There is actually. Let's maybe do this way. Some Germans don't slide over to mess with that. Alrighty. That. Okay, commandos. So the commandos want an advance 2 to be able to attack Salerno. A 3. This is how straightforward this game is. So advance 2. So they will advance there, and they will do a follow-up attack. So we need to check the variable strength of the German unit in Salerno. A 3, it's a 0. And I believe that means it's eliminated. Let me just make sure it's not only on a 1. If the result is 0, the unit is immediately eliminated. If it was the only unit defending the tree, it is achieving a DS result of variable strength. Okay, sweet. So, commandos take Salerno. That's big. So the Germans can deny the Salerno port by just getting adjacent to it, which they may want to do. But it does open up a pretty good port where we otherwise would not have a beachhead. All right, Uncle Beach. Different die results here. So Uncle Beach is a little bit different than the others still. A 4, advance 1. Uh-oh. Not good for... This airfield here, and we'll mark it, is crucial. If the Germans don't have a unit within 3 hexes of this airfield, then they don't get their air support. So what the Germans really need is some better outcomes here. Advance 2 for Sugar Beach. Well, we have no beachhead coming on with Sugar Beach, so they'll just advance into the airfield, and then Roger is advanced 2 as well. So beachheads, you want to protect them, but they kind of draw strength from everything around them. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about how aggressive the Germans are going to be here, but I don't know. Let's keep them together for now. Well, so on the first turn, all the all the Allied forces have to use tactical movement, which is just 1 or 2 hexes. So if I go here and this tank chose to attack the beachhead, it'd be 2 plus 6.5, so it'd be 8. I don't know if the tank denies the armor shift. I don't think it does. I think they're safe with that. They're good with that. Okay, Red Beach. 2, that's just going to be advance 1. And Beach. 3 is advance 2. Okay, let's land there, and let's get them up on the main. Let's stay there. Maybe we'll regret it. Oh, hey, Rich. Good morning, buddy. You know how beachheads can draw in half of adjacent forces? Like, for example, if this tank was foolish enough to attack from there, this beachhead draws in from here. There's a tank here. Does this beachhead draw in the armor shift? Now, obviously, this tank would go here, and they don't draw those forces in, but it's an unlikely scenario, but I don't think I'm going to do it. And if I did it, I would go around. But okay, that's it for landings. So we don't have any ASUs to flip. Reinforcements are placed in their entry areas. We have no replacements, and we go to movement phase. So what are we going to do here? This pass, we need to defend. I am halved. Half movement. And what's the 8th Army? Okay, so the tanks do add their half to a beachhead defense, but they don't give the armor shift. That makes sense. So movement down to 3 because of half, but I can do extended march as long as I don't go in a Zoc. And this. Secondary roads are half movement. So this guy can move up to 6 with extended march as long as they don't go in a Zoc. 1, 2, 2.5 to hold there. And we'll just have to move top to bottom. Half movement, so 1.5. 1, 2, 3. And I could mark everything with tile spacers, but I'm just not going to go through that process. Um, yeah, we should probably deny Salerno for next turn. At least we'd deny their elite. Hmm. Okay, we're just gonna get right in there. So this guy has an interesting decision. And that is go help this guy up here or fall back, because obviously the Brits are going to push in. The Allies have advanced out nicely everywhere except in the north. The terrain in this game is brutal. It is. Plus, everything in the 8th Army, mechanized units don't get the the road benefit for that whole sector. Oh, but that's only down here. All the 8th Army stuff shows up. They have like yellow bands. Let me show you. So, yellow band, these all come in from the south, and they just get super bogged down. Even once they get, I guess if they were to come in here and zip over, they get bogged down. What was I checking? Oh, I was going to read the tips because there's a. Let's see what Mark Simonich says to do. Because there's a point. Don't let the allied player take Batapaglia. Batapaglia. Okay, so this guy then, he can do extended to wrap around and be 1, 2, 2.5, but then he needs extended to get in there. So we're going to defend this. 1 stacking point, 2 stacking point, free stacking. This artillery can help out there. How good is the... Okay. No VPs down there, though, so it's not that important. I have a holding force. Just need to block German reinforcements. How far are you in the campaign, Rich? What am I checking? Oh, just a second, quick. So anything, you get 1 silhouette that stacks for free, and then everything else is 1. So, in here, the 2, 3, 5. At least for the turn, I'm going to move this in here because just knowing that the allied players 8 turns in, nice. The allied players can only crawl on this first turn. I'm not worried about them like wrapping around to knock out Eboli and take out my ASU just because they can only go 2 hexes. So if they're going to do anything this turn, it has to be against Batapaglia. That's going to be tough to hold. So there's a victory point here, but I don't think I care. Right? Because that's just open terrain, no benefit there. I mean, I could get cheeky and attack in, but what would I rather do with these guys? So 5, 5. They're 2.5. They can go up to 5.5 if I don't end in a Zoc. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rich, does this make you want to play Normandy? Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if I go there, then I could get up to a 3rd. Movement 5. They can go up to Eboli. Well, that could be nice to park an elite there. It's a ways to go. So they're going to go 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. On the main road. So 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 5 into Eberly. I don't care about Agropoly, I think. I would rather defend here and then, because then I could go here. Yeah, it's good. I just think there's really interesting defensive considerations in the game, like where to hold up, and it's so brutal for the Brits against Cairn. I think maybe they're going to fall back here and then hope to get a beyond these two rivers and just let. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to care about this. 1, 2, 3, and we're doing extended here. 4, 5, 5.5. Kind of a weird way around, but that'll work. 1, 2, 3. Also doing extended. 4, 5, 5.5. At least get across the river. Okay. This guy's not doing anything. This guy came in the south. 1S. This main road, I guess. And this is non-mech move. Who did I move? Thinking it was, that was mech. Okay. All right. 1, 2. So halved, he has 4.5, so we can go 4 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Slowly but surely. My next playthrough, I want to play more aggressively on turn 1 with the Germans. I think that taking 1 to 2 beachheads is worth a lot of losses. Well, that's interesting. Let's rewind. I like the idea, Rich. Let's just say this guy. No, this guy was the one up here. Can this guy? Let's just rewind these two real quick. Let's see how aggressive we can be. So this would be 4, 6, 8, but no armor shift. Let's go for it. Like your style, Rich. He's gonna move there. This guy will wrap around. 1, 2. All right, let's try to knock out Blue Beach. Yeah, but he was only down to hold on. He does not he can't do extended march. Let me just make sure he's actually got enough to get there. He's got 2.5. 1, 2. Yeah, they're both good. All right, sweet. Let's do some combat. Rich, you crazy son of a gun. Do I have any other movement I care about? No, I don't. That's it for movements. Does I should have pulled up the PDF here. What does starts in box A? So I only get air support when it gets to box C, and I'm not denying the airfield there under the blue marker. The dice will determine my fate. That's right. So I have no air, and our ASU is way up here. I could move the ASU if we really want to get range of 4. Let's see. So I need to be 2 hexes close. Oh, but I can only move 1 and fire. So I could go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Won't get there. So we're just going to leave it. Okay. That's it for movement phase. On to combat phase. Salerno, not as interesting of attack because they have the favorable terrain there. All right. So, Beachhead would normally pull these guys in, but I have to be next to them. So 2, 4, 8 against a 5. But thanks, man. Have a good weekend. So we're going to start 1 to 2, but we're going to get a tank shift. Nothing's denying the tank shift. We're up to 1 to 1. We have elites. That's going to go 2 to 1. Elites, tank shift. Are the U.S. going to burn their air support? Okay, I'll do the battle roll. Are they burning their support? Are they burning their support? Yeah, they'd burn their support here. Okay, so it's back down to 1 to 1. 1 to 1. A 5. A 5 is an A1 DR2. So the attacker loses 1 step. The defender must either retreat 2 hexes and become disrupted or conduct a determined defense. The attacker may advance 2 hexes. Okay, so an interesting thing here in Salerno is you don't... Normally, if something gives you a shift, you have to flip it. But in this game, we don't, although both units did give us a shift. So we take the loss. They will definitely do a determined defense because they have nowhere to go. So we are in clear terrain. We will... fire. Did we land? We'll use naval for determined defense. So +1 on determined defense. Lead unit is not elite. Lead unit is the 443 here. Okay. The CRT was not orange either. So determined defense, a 1. That's not good. That is a 1-step loss for the defender, and the determined defeat fails. So, but then I think I can go to... Sorry, that was determined defense. Now I believe we shift to... whatchamacallit? Desperate defense. What I'm checking though is, so obviously the beachhead cannot retreat because it has no movement, and one or more units will be eliminated if it retreats. They occupy a porch or beachhead, and the loss of the hex will cause those units to become out of supply at the end of the retreat. That's not the case. But I believe a no unit... what are we checking? 11.4. Okay, so if some units can retreat and others can't, they have to, and then the ones that stick behind do a desperate defense. So I believe the beachhead does a desperate defense. I'm just going to check that. Yeah, if it's forced to retreat. So these have to retreat and they go away. What did I get? DR2. Retreat 2 hexes, and it becomes disrupted. 1, 2, 3. And they become disrupted. All right, desperate defense. No defensive support. It's not elite. A 5. We're in clear terrain. It is either a delay or 1 step loss, and we hold. Okay. I don't think we can do delay here, but let's double check. We can't do the take a step loss and hold. Delay, I believe, applies to, like, you would retreat, but it prevents like a full-on advance after combat. So eliminated. Whoo! VP for the Germans. Look at that. They probably will not advance. Although you can advance in any direction, so we will advance because we don't want to. The attacker may advance 2 hexes if they retreat. Let's get back in. We really just need to get out of range of those guys. So 1, 2, we'll get back here. Well, there's a lot more options. Okay, recovery phase. We don't have any replacements. We didn't use any truck markers. I could have used the truck down here. Probably should have. All right, so supply phase. I mean, the Germans basically, how it stands now, are going to track to a map edge. Nothing's been cut off from supply. This is the guy that didn't live. Eliminated. And we didn't use our ASUs, so we're set. Sweet. Well, there you go. Beachhead down. I like Rich's aggressive plan. It paid off for the Germans, and it makes an even more interesting puzzle for the Allies when we're back next Friday, although I'm going to keep playing this. So we'll probably resume sometime in the future. But for now, that's going to do it for this Friday. Little one was not the world's best sleeper last night, so I'm anticipating her being up from her nap sooner rather than later today. Sweet. Yeah, so I'm going to keep playing this. Next Friday, we'll be back to Salerno 43. We have plenty of turns. I assume I don't jinx the Allies and fall too far behind where the game is over before then, but you never know. So anyways, join us next Friday, the 21st? Around the same time, 9:30 a.m., depending on the kiddo's nap, and we'll see how far the Allies can push now that they've suffered this little setback. All right, everyone have a great weekend. Yeah, the Zachbon series is fantastic, and if you've ever considered it, this really is a fantastic way to get into it. It simplifies some of the rules, but you don't miss anything, and it kind of pulls from the different series, the different titles, excuse me, to make for a really great game. And as you saw with setup, it was, it's even faster if I'm not jib-jabbing, but you have 2 lines of units to put on the map, maybe 12.5 total counters, 2 dozen counters, something like that. So easy to set up, easy to get going. And yeah, we'll keep plugging away. All right, everyone have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting, Mitch, Rich, everyone else who watched. If you watch this at a later time, thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you later. And you gotta bear with me while I turn the stream off.